if you're listening to this or watching this, we are doing a standalone review of Stranger Things in this video. Or it's also a part of our weekly show, The Big Show, which will be in there. So if we've already talked about this. that's what's going on. So you've been warned.
Stranger Things 3. We're gonna spoil it.
We're gonna spoil a lot of it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You've been warned. Okay. Let's. I'm trying to figure out. I've been thinking about this a lot over. Trying to figure out how to do this, like how to do this review. First, I'm gonna say we've already watched it twice.
Yep. And as soon as we finished last night, I was like, I could watch it again.
Just saying. So he only has 2 home runs. We're also watching the home run derby, so we're a little distracted. This show, when we first started watching season 1, she watched like 3 episodes and stopped and said, "You need to watch this with me."
And he's like, "I don't know, it's scary. I don't like scary." And I'm like, "No, you're gonna. This is your childhood. You need to watch this."
Yes, I was. We talked about this in the past. I'm about 2 years. I was about 2 years younger, or maybe 3 years younger than the cast is in the show.
Yeah.
I was born in 75, so this is supposed to be the summer of 85. So I was like, 10, and they're all supposed to be like, 13, 15, 16,
yeah.
That kind of stuff. Maybe even a little bit older. So I'm more of Lucas's sister's age.
Yeah.
than I am with the rest of the cast and the boys and everything. I didn't do this while we were sitting here, so I'm just going to bring it up on my phone.
But he is not into My Little Pony.
But I'm not. I've never been into. I'm not opposed.
He is a nerd.
I am a nerd. So my nostalgia for this show is a thing. Like it's right in my wheelhouse of stuff. Why is it not bringing it up the way I wanted to bring it up? All right, whatever.
Because it's IMDb.
Because it's IMDb and it's on my phone. But really loved season 1. We've been through it like 6 or 7 times. Really loved season 2, even with that episode. After rewatching it several times and sitting down with it, I realized what that episode is now. It is Empire Strikes Back. It is the Yoda episode. And you cannot finish that season without that episode happening. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. So this season, they start off, not like some time's gone by because the kids have grown up and stuff.
Right. Well, they did start in '84. Started in the summer of '84.
They did.
And the Ruskies are trying to open the portal in Russia, and are almost successful, but it closes back up, and then the Terminator, Darth Vader's the scientist guy.
So no, the Russian general is Tarkin, and
I know, but the Terminator guy is the one who chokes him.
Yes, he's Vader. Yes, yeah. I was looking at my phone. I'll stop looking at my phone. Now my phone's going off. So we start with Russians.
Yes.
Like it makes 1985. Everything's going on in the world. The Cold War is in high swing. It's almost to its zenith at this point in time. Having the Russians trying to open the gate in the summer of '84 makes complete sense.
Right. Well, because it's right after. It's a year, because the last one was '83. Yes, because Ghostbusters, so '83, and then '84, and so they're trying to open it, and they are not successful, and so then they go to '85, summer of '85. So It's been a year, and the Russian general tells the non-dead Russian scientist that he has a year to figure it out.
Right. Smirnov.
Which is right, Alexei Smirnov apparently. I always want to call him Sergei. Sergei. But Alexei works too.
I like Sergei too. You're not Sergei? Now we're just totally mixing. The story they do this season and the way they do everything, my phone is blowing up, folks, and I don't know what's going on.
Volume thing.
I turned it off now.
Right.
The story arc this season is very complete. It's one 7.5-hour movie.
Yes.
Is what it really is. And people complained about that episode last season because it was very much like a interlude, almost like.
It was very jarring and different because they weren't in Hawkins, right? So Hawkins is a sleepy little town in Indiana where, modern pop culture gets there 2 or 3 years later, and then they go to Chicago.
I think it's Chicago, yeah.
And where it's gritty and current
punk rocky,
and very not Hawkins, and so it's jarring. I understand the story. I understand the point. I think they probably could have executed a little bit better.
But this season actually ends up working out where every scene seamlessly rolls and connects to the next scene.
Right.
More and more and more and more. And I loved that. I loved that everything that was going on, including the Romancing the Stone rom-com bickering that Hop and Joyce had the whole time, makes complete sense. Added into the Russian, spy intrigue, kind of war games, kind of thing. What was the other one?
The Terminator,
Red Dawn. The Thing, kind of the Mind Flayer is the thing that comes out of Will. Maybe necessarily didn't get killed off. It just got excommunicated from him, and finds a new host, and the new host is Billy, and Billy being the bad guy and being this Invasion of the Body Snatchers disconnected was just really, really well done and was super awesome.
Yeah, and you pretty much hated Billy last season because he was just a jackass.
Yeah.
And then, the end of this season, you understand, who he was and kind of why he was that way, and he gets his.
That was really well done, having 11 be the one who learns
his story
and why he's so angry and why he is such the way he is.
Yep.
And then that's the way they bring him back.
Yeah.
At the end.
And then he gets to save everybody, he
gets to do the hero's charge essentially.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool. I really appreciated that they kept him as the big bad this season. I mean, he is essentially the big bad, but still giving him a redemption arc that made complete sense for how they set up everything.
Yep.
The monster, the Mind Flayer, is made up of goo,
inside out parts of people and rats, and
I told her upon halfway through the second viewing, I told her I don't like the monster. Not like I don't like it. Like I think it's stupid or whatever. Like it creeps me the fuck out. Like,
and I said, and it's doing its job.
But the monster, the thing that kept getting me, is his teeth were bones.
Yeah,
and that was what was getting me every time. It's every time it opened its mouth, I'm like, that's a leg bone and that's an arm bone.
Yeah, and I like that because it is goo. He can disassemble and go under door jams and down storm drains and stuff.
Very
but,
much the Blob kind of.
Yeah, but all these bones and stuff. So like one of the times when he goes down in the drain, and then there's still like some bones hanging around because they're too big to go through the drain.
Through the drain, yeah, that was a whole. So cool, but Jesus. So let's talk about the boys. I want to talk about the girls. Actually, you know what? I want to talk about Hop and Joyce. Let's go there, then we'll talk about the boys and then the girls. Hop and Joyce. I kept going back and forth what their rom-com, 80s rom-com kind of thing was the entire time. And then I'm like, when did Romancing the Stone come out? And it was 1984. And so I'm like, it makes complete sense. Him dressing up as Magnum PI. Being called Fat Rambo a couple of times. Some people have said that was off-putting. I found it refreshing. I found it very refreshing to have that we all want. They're Joyceper, Josper,
Jopper.
We're going with Jopper. We all want Jopper, right? We all want that. We all want to ship them, and not having them, them doing the Cheers thing, where Sam and Diane the whole time were just kind of flirting and never really getting together. I really loved that story, and I love how that was.
I think the only thing about Hopper that was off-putting for me was his rage over derangement over 11 and Mike being teenagers, and just like I get the reason. It was just like he was so angry
and over the top angry at times about it,
and then Mike being so disrespectful. I'm like, that's
out of character for Mike,
but
not out of a character for a teenage boy of that time, of that age. Does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. They just we've raised some kids, and they would never, like, I would have. There
have been some smacking going on.
I don't care that you're not my child.
We've beaten other children.
I don't care you're not my child. Get out. So I mean, that was a little jarring, but it didn't take me out of it. I don't know.
I appreciated, like, being the dad kind of with somebody who's not directly your child, being the stepdad of especially a daughter. So I understood a little bit of it, and so I got it and stuff.
Yeah, and there's that. He didn't raise her. He kind of came in the middle.
Right.
Trying to deal with all that.
And he still has all the baggage from his daughter and the breakup with his wife and a lot of other stuff. It was like, and they actually touched on a lot of that, which was really nice.
Yeah.
The boys, Will, Lucas, Mike, and Dustin, and Steve Harrington. This season was the Steve Harrington show.
Steve the Hair Harrington.
We're going to talk about Steve and Robin in a minute. I want to talk about them, but specifically Steve. It's been very easy for them to, he was the bad guy in the first season and had a redemption arc in the first season, and then in season 2 he was kind of the sidekick to the boys, the kids, the babysitter. But this season, like, him being directly involved with everything, I thought was really cool. Like, I really liked. He's still an idiot, but he's a lovable idiot, and he was able to figure things out as they were going along, as they were trying to figure out the Russian code and stuff like that. He was able to catch things that some of the others weren't catching.
I don't know that he's an idiot. He was a jock, right? And he got away. He didn't have to pay attention in class and all that. I feel like he is smart. He didn't have to pay attention.
He didn't have to learn about anything.
So he's like just missing some of that knowledge.
My favorite line, like I said, we're going to watch it again, but my favorite line the whole season was when they finally all meet back at the Battle of Starcourt Mall. This is really hard to say. And they're explaining to Lucas's sister about everything that's going on, and Robin, because Elle throws a car across the mall, the
and
food
they
court.
don't know why
And
she
they're
could
going,
do that.
and they're explaining it, and Steve's like, "This is just how it is. Just catch up."
Yeah.
It's like,
Catch up.
it's the perfect answer for everything. It's like, why don't you know about this?
Right,
like,
especially since he's been being overshadowed by Robin the whole time, because she's like this brainiac and he's just looking stupid, and then finally, I know this one.
I got that reference. But I just loved Steve's arc and how he is, and just jumps right into the fight. The whole drug scene is amazing between him and Rob. We'll get back to that. I talked about Mike and his kind of indignancy, teenage boy stuff or whatever, which okay, here or there or whatever, it's fine. Lucas trying to be the experienced boyfriend, trying to help Mike win 11 back because he fucks up all the time, it's just so fun. Like,
Yeah.
Like that was his job this season for Lucas, was to do that. Will's arc is heartbreaking because he's been wanting to go back to things that like they were before he got taken away and before he got taken over by the Mind Flayer, and he multiple times in this episode or this season he's like, I just want to go back to the way it was.
Yeah, because he basically, like, there's like, at least a good year where he's gone and then he's back and then he's messed up and he's full of the monster or whatever,
right.
and his friends are still being
He's
kids,
he's got an overly protective mother now who won't let him go out and do anything, and so like all of that was going on. And so now he's like, I just want to, can we play D&D now? No. Like that running gag was fun. And then when he forces Lucas and Mike to sit down and play, and that realization for Will that things aren't the same, and everybody else has had the chance to grow up and find girls and do stuff, and his conversation with Mike, and Mike says, you just don't like girls, and it wasn't even like he was calling him gay or anything. He was just like, it was just kind of like, you haven't had a chance to like do. It was just like that whole thing was awesome.
Yeah, and the argument when Mike just, he took my arm and I cast a spell and we sacrificed ourselves and we killed everything. Great campaign, and that whole argument. It's like, oh yeah, I had that argument with my friends when I was little. I watched our kids have arguments like that with their friends because they're just being kids and being jerks, and and now their friend is crushed and they're like, oh, I was really a jerk, and
and they reconcile that too in the last little bit of the last episode, where Will kind of says, I always want to be part of this group no matter what, even if everybody else moves away and stuff. I still want to be part of this group. Did he just hit 30? He just hit 30. So we're watching the home run derby.
Again.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. just hit his 30th home run in the second round. Dustin coming back from camp with a girlfriend who's Mormon. Like what? And him and Steve and Robin and Lucas's sister going in and breaking into the Russian base at the mall, and he's the one who's the sober one in the whole like being the adult, like how Steve
I don't ever want to have kids.
Yeah, it was like just all of that was just, I love Dustin this season. I love Dustin this season.
Yeah, you get the feeling like out of all of them, Dustin strangely is going to be the most normal, like as a grown-up. He's going to be like the most adjusted, and and he's like a single mom, and and he's got the whole tooth thing, which has made him an outcast, and and all this, and you just kind of get the feeling that he's just going to be the most normal grown up.
Him explaining to Lucas's sister that she's a nerd because I'm a nerd and I can recognize my kind, kind of conversation. Oh, by the way, while they're trying to break into a Russian facility, is so well done. Let's talk about the girls. I want to start with Max. And Max being the guiding hand for 11, how to be a girl, is a really fun thing for her. And I love Sadie and Millie's relationship. Like their personal friendship outside of acting relationship really comes out in this show. That you can really, like, especially towards the end when Elle is really like embracing being herself, being her own person, not being 11, not being Mike's girlfriend or Harper's daughter, or whatever. She's Elle, and she's doing her own thing, and like that whole just Max kind of leading her down that path, and
Max is the perfect blend of she's kind of tomboy-y, and 11 has been that way too, probably just because she doesn't really
know any better,
have an association, male or female, and doctors were male, whatever, but she's enough girl that they can go shopping for clothes and go get their portraits taken and all of that, but still tomboy enough to pull out some Wonder Woman comics and
skateboard and explaining how to clean a proper cut, like properly clean a cut, and like that was a really cool scene. 11's arc this season 2, where of course she's got powers, and of course they're teenagers, and of course they would use those powers for questionable things.
Like spying.
I was going to say nefarious, but I couldn't get the word out. But it was like, of course they were spying on the boys, and of course they were spying on Billy, and and like of course they were doing that stuff. And her, what I really liked most about Elle this season was her losing her abilities
at the end.
And having them to have to rely on something else to beat the monster than just Elle putting her hand out.
Right.
I love that story.
Yep. And the cliffhanger is they're still not back at the end. So is it like a muscle and she's gotta let it rest for a while, or did she
retrain herself,
blow it all on trying to get rid of it? We'll see.
And then the new girl this year is Robin, Maya Hawke, Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter. I just learned that this afternoon and my mind exploded. But Robin's character starts off as the reluctant co-worker of Steve, and she's smart, but she's always been like the band nerd or the theater nerd, so she never got Steve's attention. And then as Steve spent more time with her and realized that she is smart and nice and cool and like all this other stuff Steve falls for. In the end, however, she has a thing for girls, and the way they handled that story was really cool. Like
it was like a minute conversation. Well, maybe a 2-minute, because she made a little bit of a speech, and then Steve was like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So anyway."
Like him. Like it would have been really easy for him to have a hissy fit and like, I never get the girl, blah, 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 whatever. Like that's whatever. That's fine. But
it totally didn't change their relationship.
Totally didn't change their relationship at all. And that's how you do representation. It's not a thing. It's not a thing that she's gay or lesbian or whatever.
And the only reason it even came up was because he kind of started going, I realized that there was this great girl right in front of me, and she's been there this whole time, and I haven't seen her, and kind of coming on to her in the bath, in the toilet stalls.
Puking, and it was like, oh.
Weird. But that's the only reason that it even came up.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hi, my name is, and I'm gay, which is dumb.
Yeah. And she didn't even say that. She just, she told the story of why they were in this class and how she kept ogling over this other girl. And Steve always thought this because she was jealous of her, and she was like, "No, I wanted to.
Jealous of you.
I'm jealous of you
because
you were dating her and stuff like that."
She was paying attention to. They didn't date.
Yeah, well, really, they were paying attention to you. So I thought that was a really cool, like, that was great way to do it. It wasn't in the original script. They worked it out. Maya and Joe, who plays Steve Harrington, did it all on their own, with some guidance with the Doffer brothers and Sean Levy, and they got around to it and they filmed it. And I just very John Hughes kind of moment, and just super well done. We have 5 minutes left. We've talked about Joyce and Hopper, but we need to talk about the scene at the end.
Right.
So the Russians are trying to open the gate, blah, 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 whatever. Joyce has a chance to turn both of them off both of the keys off at the same time.
Yep.
But Hopper's stuck in the room, and they've shown that if you are in the room when it goes off, everything gets evaporated.
Right.
Now, he had thrown the Terminator dude into the what we were calling the Hadrian Collider.
Hadrian Collider.
So he threw him in there. So there's like this lightning wall that's going off between where Hop is and where Joyce is in the control room. So you really can't get out. So he kind of convinces her to, like, just turn the keys and it's okay.
Yeah.
And the machine goes off. There's a flash. He's completely gone. Like, there's not even bodies or anything. But all the other guards that are in there, their bodies have been evaporated.
As far as we know.
As far as we know.
Basically no one is left in the room.
Right.
But we don't know necessarily what that means. The assumption is they've been evaporated, although that's not what happened the first time.
First time they just got electrocuted.
They just,
melty.
Well, they were melty, yeah. They were crisp.
And then we get a post-credit scene where they're in a Russian facility in Russia. It's like a prison, and the security guard says, "No, not the American," and they grab a guy next to him, drag him down into the pit. It's the Demogorgon from season 1, who has apparently been working out.
He's been taking Russian steroids
or whatever. So everybody is now questioning: is it Hopper in the room? And everything I've read, nobody's willing to say because they haven't even been picked up for season 4.
Of course they're going to be picked up for season 4. Of course they are.
I'm okay if they decide to leave it at 3, but of course it has to be a season 4. Most everybody has said they have a 4-season arc, so they want to do a 4-season arc. Are you cool with the way they close that out?
Yeah, I think that was fun. Yeah.
Very much Marvel kind of leave it like hanging there kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's a conversation piece.
That's what I read today is what they were talking about. Like, they were talking about the reason they left 11 with no powers and Hop being gone and the Wheelers and Elle moving. They want that conversation to be going on. They don't want just the season was over, everybody binged it in a day.
Right.
Now there's going to be all these online theories for the rest of time to try to go and try to figure it out.
Well, at least until season 4.
Until season 4, when they explained to us that he was just teleported to a Russian facility where the other gun was.
Well, the Terminator dude did get thrown into the Hadron Collider, which probably messed it up. So
a lot, yeah. Oh, so I'm sure it's all.
It probably did not function correctly.
And with the Demogorgon in Russia, they're going to try to weaponize them and that kind of stuff. You know, like all that kind of stuff. And we were also trying to figure out timeline. Like, this is summer of '85, so we'll probably be either fall of '86, spring of '87, that kind of time period.
Christmas would be fun. They haven't done Christmas yet.
Christmas. Christmas could be very interesting. Yeah. So that is our thoughts on.
Well, they did kind of do. They kind of did Christmas in the first one. At the very
end. Yeah. But I think fall would be very interesting. Fall in Indiana.
Yeah, but they did that in the first one too. It was Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
I don't know.
Spring.
I like it. So there's our thoughts on Stranger Things and Stranger Things 3. I'll call it that way. And that was also our big show for the week. So if you have any comments, please let us know. Be nice in the comments. Follow us on everything that is our feeds, podcasts, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. It's always in the commercial. Help us out on Patreon. We're working towards goal there. I'm getting tired, and I need to go watch the finals of the Home Run Derby. Till next time, good night, cult members.